everyone, welcome back. So today's video is a fabulous one. It is going to be a collab tutorial with my friend Ivette here on YouTube. She has a channel called BeautyByMrsOutlaw. She is a beautiful, fun, really welcoming person. She has a beautiful channel. She likes to do food type things. She does beauty things. She's just so sweet. Head on over to her channel after you finish watching my tutorial and see what she has created. So today's look, I really wanted to channel like the colors of autumn, all the different shades of the leaves, from the gold to the rusty browns to the reds to the greens. And so I kind of just pulled all that together between my eye look and my cheek and my lip color, and so that is kind of the look I was going for today. So let's just get started with the tutorial. Okay guys, so I'm going to start off by priming my eyes with the Lorac Behind the Scenes Primer. I realize this is an all drugstore tutorial, however I do not have a liquid primer from the drugstore that I use. I just don't own one, and this is what I have. I actually have quite a few of these because, you know, every time you buy a palette, it comes with a primer. So I'm just going to prime my eyes with this liquid one first. And now I'm going to go in. I always like to do some sort of base that's pigmented on top of the liquid because I find it just really keeps my shadows on and looking really good all throughout the day. So I am going to go in with the Color Tattoo by Maybelline in the shade Barely Branded. Looks like so. It's just a really creamy champagne color. And I'm just going to use my finger. Mine's starting to get a little dry. And I'm just going to pop that on my lids. Now it's time for the shadows. I am going to be using Jane eyeshadows today. I'm really blown away and impressed with the quality, and of course, an airplane needs to take off right now. I'm sorry. Okay, as I was saying, I am going to be using Jane eyeshadows today, and I'm going to start off with Clay. It is a matte shade. It is a beautiful, really warm brown shade. I'm just going to take a fluffy blending brush. This happens to be the Sephora Pro Crease brush number 10. I've been loving on it a lot lately. These are very pigmented, so you do want to tap off the excess. And we are just going to start off by putting this in our crease and warming it right on up. And now I am going to go in with the shade called Olive Branch. And this is a very shimmery olive color. And I am going to take this Makeup Geek crease brush and dab a little bit of this onto my brush, tap it off. And I'm just going to kind of start by putting this out here in my crease. But I don't want to bring it in too far because I have a habit of bringing it in too far and really closing my eye up. And I want to leave some lightness right here for the look today, so I'm just going to kind of blend this. Sometimes I need to hold my skin too a little bit just to kind of keep it taut where you want it, and kind of just blend this into my outer V. Now I'm going to blend out those edges of that green with this shade. It's called Willow, and it is a matte. It's just more of like a cooler toned brown, almost like a hint of greenish grayish tinge to it. And I am just going to take, this one is dirty unfortunately, but it's just another tapered blending brush, something like the 217 or the MAC 217 or the Sigma E25. This one is Diva Beauty Tapered Blender S06, and I am just going to blend above the green and kind of where I took that clay shadow, but just kind of in between the green and the clay, and just blend it out, soften those edges. And this will create a little bit more dimension too because it's a little bit darker of a shade. Alright, I don't have a really pretty champagne shade in the Jane eyeshadow, so I'm just going to use this e.l.f. Baked eyeshadow in Toasted. And I am just going to take a flat brush. This one is dirty. Again, let me grab you a clean one. Oh my gosh, did you see this the whole time? I got parsley on my teeth again. I decided I have to stop eating parsley because I don't usually look in the mirror like before I film. I should probably get in the habit of doing that. Anyways, I'm just going to take a flat shading brush, or actually this is the e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush they call it. I don't know why they call it a C brush. Probably because it's shaped kind of like a C. And I'm just going to put this onto my lid. And I'm going to put a little of this in my inner corner too, because it's a very pretty champagne highlight shade. I might have to go back in and reapply this after I do my liner, but we're just going to layer it a little bit today. I like to do a little bit right here too, because my inner corner tends to get very dark very quickly. Alright, just going to blend out the edges of that green again. Now I'm going to line my eyes with a chocolate brown eyeliner first. Now I don't have a drugstore version of an eyeliner. I personally have not found any that I really care for. And I'm not going to create a wing. I'm just going to create kind of a thicker line out here on the outside. And then I'm going to make it thinner as I go in. It's a good way to make your eyes look bigger, is to have a thicker liner on the outside and then really taper it in as you go. And I'm also going to take the liner down on my lower lash line here. Not all the way, probably like halfway. And this is a very pretty chocolate brown. This is Mally's Evercolor in Milk Chocolate. I'm just going to take a little bit of brown shadow, any sort of brown shadow will do. I'm just going to take this Jane one, it's called Earth. It is still kind of shimmery, but that's okay because I'm just going to add a little bit of dimension. It's like a burgundy type brown, it's really pretty. And this is an e.l.f. liner brush. It's a small angled brush, and I'm just going to use that to really set my liner and add a little bit more color to the liner, a little bit more dimension to the eye. I love the look of a smoked out bottom lash line. I love the dimension that it adds. I love the shadow it creates. I love the warmth. So I'm going to go back in with clay and a pencil brush. This one is from Sigma. Tap it off, and I'm just going to blend and really just soften the eyeliner that we put down there and the shadow and just create a really warm look. And now after all that, I'm going to go in with a black eyeliner and just kind of sharpen up and deepen up the outer portion of my eye here. Alright, let's move on to mascara. I always curl my lashes, like it is an absolute must. And then I'm going to go in with my bottom lash mascara. This is from Clinique. I know, I'm out of my Maybelline. My holy grail one for the bottom is the Maybelline Lash Discovery. It's like twice the length of this and maybe just a tiny bit thicker, but I wanted to give this a go. It's so small, I thought it would work really well for my bottom lashes, but I don't know. I mean, it works really well, don't get me wrong, but the formula is kind of wet. Maybe I have to let it sit open a little bit longer, so I tend to make a mess of things. So I might be going back to my Maybelline, but we're gonna still test this out and see. Then for my top lashes, once again, I don't have a drugstore option, but I have my favorite mascara right now of life, and it's the Mally Volumizing Mascara, so I can't go behind her back right now. Next step is completely and utterly optional, but I just like the look of false lashes. I just like to rock them. I think they're fun, they're glamorous, they're girly, they just boost up your eye look that extra, I don't know, it's like a frame. It's kind of like my brows. I just frames your face. And we're going to kind of play around today with some fun ones. My favorite ones I need to rebuy, which are the accent lashes. So we're going to go in with the Ardell Curvy lashes, and they look like that. Okay, that's a really terrible view, but that's what they look like. I'm going to fill in my pores with the Maybelline Baby Skin, just a tiny little bit of this. It is a little bit more greasy of a formula, but I find it still works well to conceal my pores. So I'm just going to use that only in this area where I have larger pores. Like right here on my nose and between my eyeballs, I have like ridiculously large pores. I have no idea why. Alright, and then on the rest of my face, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Revitalift Miracle Blur Moisture. Mouthful, yes. It's like a really nice primer, but it's lotion formula. I like it. I find it works. It's soothing on the face. It's like a lotion formula. And so I'm just going to apply that elsewhere. The foundation I have chosen to use today is the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous. I'm in the shade 845, probably not really. I'm starting to get a little bit lighter than I was this summer, but it still works for me. This is a really nice drugstore alternative for a foundation. I think it has great coverage. The staying power is fabulous. It gives you kind of like a satin finish. I wouldn't say matte. It's more of like a satin finish. It's really nice. I really enjoy this foundation. It blends well. Yeah, I found this summer and it is really nice. Then I kind of like to just go back in with a damp beauty blender and just kind of roll this, like a rolling type of motion, and really marry that foundation to my skin. It feels good. It's like a skin massage, and it really just presses the foundation into your skin so it doesn't sit on top. And now I'm going to use this concealer. This is the L'Oreal True Match Concealer W123. It is Fair Light, and it's a nice concealer from the drugstore. I don't think it was very cheap though. I like the NYX one just as much, if not better, and that one is like half the price. This was like, I don't know. It's a nice concealer, don't get me wrong, but I was kind of shocked how much they were charging for this. I want to say it was around $10 or $12, which, that's too much. Is anyone else with me? I don't need a lot of powder because this foundation truly does keep me matte throughout the day, and I'm not a very oily skinned person. However, I am going to use a little bit of this Revlon Nearly Naked powder in the shade Fair with the Real Techniques setting brush, because I don't have a loose setting powder, but we're just going to take a little bit of this to set our concealer underneath my eyes. And then for the rest of my face, I'm just going to put a little bit in my T-zone and on my forehead just to prevent any sort of shine action from happening. And I just kind of dab it on there like this. Nothing crazy. Alright, and now I am going to go in and contour. And I'm going to use the Jane Bronzer in Inspire and the Airbrush Essential, that's a hard word to say, Essential Bronzing Brush from, I almost said Real Techniques. It's It Cosmetics. And we're just going to bronze up my forehead here since I'm really showing it today. Let's make it sun-kissed. This is a nice brush. Digging it. For some reason my neck right here is really white, so I like to bronze it up to make it match. Side note, when I used to lay in the tanning beds, I would lay with my neck like this, just so that I wouldn't get that white spot. Ugh, tanning beds were not meant to be a comfortable situation. Would not recommend you doing them. But the weird positions you got into to get an even tan, I tell you what. And let me tell you, I also learned the hard way about that. I didn't know you had to like move. I used to like lay in there and fall asleep and wake up in a pile of sweat. Until I came out and I was like, why do I have all these white spots on me? Well, Tanning 101, I apparently did not take that class. Alright, before I forget, because I often do, I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, something's missing. My brows, let's do my brows. I'm just going to kind of speed through this because this is quite honestly boring and I'm kind of finicky about them. I need to get them waxed, so I have to do a little tweaking, but essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline them with the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I'm going to fill them in with the Anastasia Dip Brow in Chocolate. Now to my favorite parts of the face to do. Blush, highlighter, and lipstick. So I have chosen to use the Jordana blush in Blushing Rose today. Ugh, it is a beautiful, very nicely pigmented blush. Inexpensive. You're going to want to tap off the extra because it's, like I said, very pigmented. I am using a very light hand right now. Now that is a gorgeous blush, I must say. I am very impressed with that blush. Alright, now I'm going to highlight my face, and I'm going to use this Wet n Wild Rose Champagne Glow highlighter. This is a beautiful highlighter. Oh, it is so beautiful. And I'm going to use this brush from NARS. It's like the Yashio brush. It's ridiculously expensive, but it works perfectly for me for highlighter. So I am just going to highlight the tops of my cheekbones here. I like to do a little bit down the center of my nose. I kind of like to do like a C shape, especially since I have a more of like a matte finish foundation. I like to be able to control my glow then by putting it where I would like to have it. I am going to use this NYX lip liner in Burgundy, and I am going to line my lips. Alright, and the lipstick I have chosen is by Revlon, and it is called Rum Raisin. It is a beautiful color. Let's finish off this whole look with the NYX finishing powder. It looks like this. This is a dupe for the Bobbi Brown version, which looks exactly the same. And I'm just using a big old powder brush here from It Cosmetics. This is a finishing powder. It's going to add a little bit of radiance and a little bit of glow, little life back to my skin. And that is it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know down below if you attempt to recreate it. Do not forget to go on over and watch my beautiful friend Ivette's video. I'm sure she has come up with something absolutely fabulous. And she's a completely different color. Well, she's light skin, like fair, light skin, but she has blonde hair and blue eyes. So I'm sure she's going to have something super fabulous for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you are new, huge hugs, welcome. I hope you stay a while, and I am so happy to have you here. Have a fabulous day, guys, and I will talk to you.